That man right there on the table, what a player, what a talent. And it is a shame for the world of Nineball that, you know, over the last few years with things that have been going on, that we've just not been able to see a lot of these top players. So the fact that Wu is back here at the Spanish Open, what a treat for pool fans.
While we're waiting for that match to start, let's take a look at this dogfight between Yap and Inacio. Yap is getting on top, but I'll tell you what, it's not been the simple proposition that he thought might be the case. Remember, it was 2-2. Almost very professional though, Yap. I was reading an article about him actually at the weekend, where his girlfriend, Silviana Liu from Indonesia, said that he likes to sleep a lot, but also to practice a lot.
This room is filling up nicely, Phil, all over the arena. There's obviously a lot of tables in action. I know a few of the people have all started to make the way over to the main table because everyone's intrigued to see Jia Qing play 9-ball pool again.
Yes, during his hiatus from the international tour, he has been playing, so he's not coming in cold, rusty, or anything like that. So I think he might hit the ground running. Let's just see here if Inacio can clear the table. No, he can't. We'll keep you informed about that match, as indeed we'll give you all of the scores between racks. Now though, let's concentrate on Wu's return. And a little clumsy with the old lag.
Yeah, we've seen a few howlers. That's not one of Wu's finest. So he will not be breaking first. Well, that's a pretty good start, it has to be said. Whenever you see the one ball go in the side pocket, that means the player is quite adept at the break, so you can see the one disappears. Often when these players who we're not used to seeing, Phil, you know, there's so many people that play pool all over the world, you know, it's impossible. Even your good self, Phil, doesn't know every pool player. So Oliver here, you know, we've never seen him play the game. Obviously he's local, he's from Spain, but after a rack or two we can kind of get an idea of where his level may be at, you know, in the sense of, is he going to give Wu a game, or is it going to be a walk in the park? And that opening shot tells me it's not going to be a good hour for Oliver.
Oliver Twist wanted more If he keeps on playing safeties like that, this Oliver will be getting less racks than he wanted. You know, you talk about great sporting achievements, and this is no exaggeration. Wu, whose nickname is the Little Genius, I think was party accomplished one of the great sporting achievements. In 2005, he completed the world 8-ball and 9-ball double. Now, when you consider, right now he's 34 years of age, as they say, do the math. When he won the 8 and 9-ball world title, he was 16 years of age. Carl, one of the great achievements, without any doubt, in pool.
Yeah, in the history of what I call it American pool, if you like. You know, if you're from the UK, we often call it American pool. What he did, you know, remember it was live on Sky Sports, 16 years of age, and the way he won that final, that was some achievement. It's just been a shame that we've not got to see so much more of him, but he always makes an impact on the pool tournaments. And how about this for a positional shot straight away from Jia Qing? He's back.
Just dripping with class, that shot.
Showing all his experience here. He's just making his mind up. Does he play it in the side? Can he avoid cannon in the 9, or does he just play it in the corner? The corner looks to be the obvious. Just got to bear down and make sure you pop the ball. Looks like Wu is playing with a slightly longer cue. That seems to be a theme in modern era. Players just put that little extension on the bottom of the cue. That just means that getting through the cue ball and manoeuvring the white around the table seems a little easier. The opening rack.
Very good. So the safety mistake was made by Oliver Rodriguez-Roa. He then sat down and watched Wu at his finest, weaving the ball around the table, manufacturing that dish. Now, while you're away between matches, I can tell you certain results came in. Albin Auschen defeated Andres Gonzalez Lopez 9-2. Michael Schneider had a 9-5 win over Isaac Gil Vieira. From the UK, Luke Rollison's trip here has been fruitful so far. He beat David Garcia Rodriguez 9-4. Lawrence Thomason, Carl Boyes' good pal, I'm afraid he wasn't so successful, losing 9-1 to Ruslan Ostrovsky. Oliver Szolnocki from Hungary, he had a comfortable win over Carl Williams 9-1 also.
That's the first time we've ever witnessed Wu breaking with this break box. I'm not surprised to see him going full pelt. Some players break around 70%. We've seen Eklund Kapti snap off the UK Open a couple of weeks ago, breaking powerful. So Wu has decided that is the break for him. Plays the game how it should be.
Interested spectators there. On the right, Joshua Filler. On the left, his good wife, Pia, who's just been crowned the European Ladies Nineball champion in Finland. Congratulations to her. He's one of those players, isn't he, Carl, who grabs your attention.
Yeah, just the fact that, as we was alluding to, the youngest ever world handball champion, always going to play a big part. Yeah, any pool tournament he plays in. And the fact that we've got, you know, both the fillers watching, Thorsten Homan sat watching. You know, they've got the respect for this man at the table. It's all about this pink 4 ball, isn't it? You know, it doesn't go, so he's played into it. And again, this showing his talent. Yeah, he was never guaranteed an easy shot, but the talent just to get the cue ball tracking into them 2 balls, especially when he didn't have a lot of angle.
Yes, it certainly wasn't a natural angle, was it? It was one he had to manipulate. Well, I think already enough evidence to suggest he's going to be a contender. I know that sounds ridiculous after a rack and a half, but he's played some really nice shots. No, wasn't maybe the best of them, but he still has an attempt at the 5.
Yeah, the racks have not been simple so far. He's had to come with a couple of nice shots. That's just purely because of where the balls have been. Gonna need another good one here. Can he stun it in and go 3 rails? Kind of got there, just wanted to be another foot down the bottom of the table. That would have mean it was guaranteed. So one more good shot. The 8 ball passing the 9 looks fairly tight as well, so he's not out here, not yet. The miss has come. All because cue ball couldn't quite get it where he wanted. Yep, the pace, firing it into that bottom rail, it's never going to go in.
You mentioned Carl, it was the first time he broke out of the box, and also he won't be all that well accustomed to playing on pockets of this severity.
Oliver's got the same issue. He's got to try and get on the 8 ball. Is it going to bounce enough? Yeah, it is. That's actually really nice. It's actually perfect.
Well, for Oliver Rodriguez-Roa, that's the first box ticked, avoiding the whitewash. In fact, he equalises. It is 1-1. As for the winner's prospective opponent in the next round, well, it will be either Theodore Bitsayakis or Wojciech Szewczyk. They're playing over on table 8 at the moment, and the poll leads by 2-0. In matches that started when the tournament began at 10 o'clock this morning local time, Finland's Joni Uski on the hill against Gleb Semenov at 8-5. Pius Labutis and Damien Massey in a pitched battle. It's 6-6 on table 12. Sergio Lagunas Moreno has beaten Matti Varanian of Finland 9-5. And I can tell you, Mika van Berkel, who impressed everyone on the way to the final of the recent Jason Shaw Junior Open in London, he's gained a really good victory this morning over Khalid Al-Ghamdi. It went hill-hill. Van Berkel got the verdict when it mattered most. So congratulations to him.
Cue ball's going near the side pocket. The spin might follow it in, and it has. It was a pretty good break and all. It had the power.
Another result. Ivan Coelho from Portugal has beaten Francisco Sanchez Hernandez, the father of FSR, 9-3. And Emil Andre Gangflo of Norway on the hill against Davy Pierre Giovanni at 8-4. So this terrific tournament well and truly underway.
This is the type of layout. No clusters, so just connect the dots. This is very nice for Wu. There's the familiar cue action that we've all seen.
Wu plays with that smooth ease that tells you he's world class. Lead very swiftly restored. As I said, he's known as the little genius. Taishan Shentong, that's the English version. Little genius. I suppose when you complete a World 8 and 9 ball double in the same year, you have to be regarded as a genius. Now that's the action over on table 3 at the moment. This really is a massively busy arena right now. The two players there, Francisco Jose Diaz Pizarro against Anas Cherifi, 1-1 at the moment. I can tell you, Fedor Gorsht, relieved to be reunited with his suitcase, and more importantly, with his cue, has taken the first 2 racks against Robert Parrish and another fine player from China, Wang Can, already 3-0 up on Javier Alvarez Ramos.
Well, so far, one thing that Wu's going to have to figure out is it's going to have to be the break-off, because the opening 2 racks, he's missed the 1. That's what he's trying to pot. Real good chance of playing a good snooker here. Can just sort of softly draw the cue ball over towards the blue and the brown ball. Gotta be a bit careful though, you don't want to be scratching in the corner. Well, he's actually going to leave a piece of this 1 ball.
Carl and I have suddenly become very nervous. We're in the presence of greatness. Jeremy Jones is standing behind us, former US Open champion, who will take up the commentary cudgels at the end of this match. Poor old Oliver Rodriguez-Roa. The one thing you don't want when you're up against someone of Wu's quality is for the run of the ball to go against you, although in this instance he's not got any shape on the 2. Far from it.
Yeah, I don't even believe you can see the edge of it, so he's going to be kicking at this ball. Not much room behind it, so is he going to go into it full? If he does, he'll play it with a high ball. He'll keep the cue ball table. Now he's looking at the other side. If he goes that side, he's looking at potting it in the top right corner.
See, they're watching on. We saw the fillers earlier. Sitting next to them, another former world 9-ball champion, Torsten Homan. That's the pull that Wu has. Fellow champions gravitate to watch him. Look at this.
It's an interesting one. These players don't usually move balls off the rail. I'm wondering if he's going to be tempted to try and bump that 5 off. He is. Not only has he bumped it off, well, it's just not quite come away, has it? I thought it was just going to sit near that middle pocket. Now, if he's dead straight, well, he isn't, because he's looking at playing the combo. Combo's still there, the 7's near enough to the rail to make it achievable. Now he's looked at the bank. See where he decides to go with the cue ball. Wonder how he's feeling, Wu, out there, Phil. How do you think, you know, the fact that he's not really played overseas for so long, and, you know, obviously he's won the world title, but many, many years ago. Obviously he's won the World Cup of Pool also. Wonder how he feels.
Well, it's not an alien environment, obviously, but there will be a re-acclimation period, won't there, where he has to get used again to being centre stage, being in the full glare. I think that period will be quite short, though. I think he'll get back on the bicycle very quickly. I've been interested his speed around the table. He's certainly not as swift as a filler. He plays at a moderate pace, doesn't he? Maybe a better word would be measured.
That's also a very good shot. He got a lot out of the cue ball. A lot of players. Max Lechner, Thorsten Oman, Filler, who we've already seen, Mario He, they're all having a nosy at this match. They're also glad, maybe they're not glad to see this man back.
The prodigal son returns, and he's already 3-1 up on Oliver Rodriguez-Roa. A couple of walkovers to tell you about. Players who didn't turn up. Oscar Dominguez, he didn't make the trip, so Andre Vansner gets the walkover. Same thing for João Costa of Portugal. He was supposed to play RT Ko of Myanmar on table 20, but that match never occurred because RT Ko withdrew. I can tell you Robert Parrish has taken a rack from Fedor Gorst. 2-1 now to the Russian. Sharik Saeed 2-0 up on Pablo Garcia Laga. And Demetrius Lukatis, who made such an impression at the UK Open, has taken the first rack from Javier Fuentes Gonzalez. And Mika Immonen, blast from the past, fine player from Finland. 5-1 up on Jia Qing. One of a quite powerful contingent that's come over from the UK. And the fine German prospect Moritz Neuhausen, 2-0 up on Ramon Fernandez. One result from an earlier match I didn't give you. It took a while for this match to be over, but it is now. Nguyen Antoine from Vietnam, one to keep an eye on. He's beaten Kyle Akalu, South African World Cup player, 9-6.
Who's finally found that one ball in the side. All depends on where the cue ball's going here. We call it the natural path. That means when you pot a ball in the pocket, what is the cue ball's natural path? That's okay, the little flick on the 8 ball is fine. Very good cueist to watch, isn't he, Phil? Just very loose on the back arm, just gets a lot out the cue ball.
Well, he plays like someone for whom pool is ingrained in his very psyche. Began playing the game at the age of 10 at his family-run pool hall. And when he became serious about competition, his grandmother would transport him from one tournament to the next on her scooter. Didn't want to be straight. I think he's just got enough angle to be able to manufacture position on the 9 call.
Yeah, he just had enough, didn't he, to just force, pull the cue ball round.
It really is invaluable experience for someone like Oliver Rodriguez-Roa to take on a giant of the game like Jia Qing. It's not about the result, it's about the memories of a match like this. Obviously, he wants to acquit himself well, pot some good balls, show his skills, but right now it is all Wu. I can tell you, Jani Uski from Finland, who's been prominent on occasions in Matchroom events. He's beaten Gleb Semenov 9-5. Piers Labutis of Lithuania on the hill against Damien Massey of the UK. 8-6 Labutis leads. And Babkin Melkonian from Romania, who was involved in an absolute marathon contest at the UK Open recently. He's beaten Miguel Angel Crespo de la Torre 9-2. Wojciech Szewczyk, by the way, has made a delightful start against Theodore Betsiakis. Szewczyk leads 4-0, so Wu and Szewczyk on a collision course.
I like this, Phil. I like it. I like the fact that he's coming to this event and he's breaking Mike, SVB and Catchy. He's going full pelt. He's found the sweet spot the last couple of times and he's got a shot on the 2 ball as well.
When we came on air this morning, you might remember we showed you the pre-tournament odds, the outright odds for who will lift the trophy on Sunday. We were surprised that Wu wasn't included amongst the main contenders on the list. I think he will be shortly. He's one of those players, as we've already told you, who does remarkable things. Coming back after an extended absence and winning his first major event. I don't think anyone would be surprised.
Yeah, if you recall when he lost the final of the US Open, Phil, to Joshua Filler in 2019, it was almost like he'd had a little bit of a break there as well, if my memory serves me right, and come and played that event in Las Vegas and only just lost out in the final in the end. Decided to play the cross bank. Wasn't far away, just hung up. Now can Oliver Rodriguez-Roa, can he make something happen in this match? Can he make Wu think a little bit? He's got work to do here to get on the red 3.
Just a reminder, all of the action on table 2 today and throughout the tournament you can see on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. The reason I'm saying that is because the second match of the day has started over there. Niels Fine taking the opening rack from Win Kong Tan of Vietnam. Yeah, there's confirmation that Fiant, who's had some heartbreaking losses at the business end of tournaments this year, he could have had a banner year if certain racks had gone the other way. He's another contender for the title.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that match though, because we're seeing Vietnamese players producing some big talent. This is the key shot now for Oliver. Looks like he's going to have to play for the purple 5 in the bottom right corner.
Didn't want to hit the bump of the middle pocket. The 5 is still available, but it's also missable. And frankly, Carl, it wasn't close.
No, it's very tough. I'm sure Oliver knows who Wu is. I'm sure he remembers when Wu won the World Nineball Championships many years ago.
Yeah, not many 34-year-olds win a world title many years ago, do they? When he came on the scene, Carl, you must have thought, where's he been? I mean, I know he was runner-up in the Junior World Nineball Championship the previous year, but it was a bolt from the blue, wasn't it?
Well, who beat him in the Junior final? I'm sure you have the answer to that, Phil.
The internet does.
Well, it's another rack on the side of Wu Jiaqing, a player who we've all been eager to see how he gets on here in the opening match. Good to have him back on the Matchroom stage. Plenty of action going on all over the arena. Four days of play will whittle this field down. And then over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we'll have our last 16 players. That's played on 3 tables. But it's all about getting through to the final 64, Phil.
Yeah, the conqueror of Wu Jiaqing in that 2004 Junior 9-ball final was Wu Lun, who went on to capture the title 3 years in succession and almost made it 4 before losing to Ko Pin Yi in the 2007 version. So he captured the title twice in Australia, in Adelaide. That's where he beat Wu Jiaqing. He then won in Velden, Austria, then Sydney, Australia. But Wu's attempt to win a 4th World Junior title, Wu Lun that is, was thwarted by Ko Pin Yi.
Well, what's happened to Wu Lun then? Getting to all them junior finals back in the day.
The attempt there was to try and kill the cue ball and hook Rodriguez Roa. But Wu didn't succeed. And what's more, the 2 goes past the 5 down the rail. By the way, that World Junior Championship has produced some wonderful players. Dimitri Yungo, these are all the winners that have become prominent in the senior ranks. Dimitri Yungo, Vilmos Valdez, Kopinyi, Ruslan Chinakov, FSR, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, he was the champion in 2010, Koping Chung, and Aloysius Shab. Nice spot, especially if he's got a piece of the 3, if he's got the potting angle.
Gonna need an angle on this purple 5. Got to get up there somewhere, and he needs an angle to get back down for the 6. Got to be careful with the 8 ball as well. That's okay, he can pot this ball. He's just having a look what angle he's faced with, because is the 8 in the way if he pulls it straight back? That isn't going to work. Cannot cut this ball in now.
Had to catch that thin, playing it in that manner, and he did. Pretty good shot. By the way, we've been talking about the Hall of Fame crowd watching this match, and I can tell you another addition to that is Shane Van Boning. There he is. Having a conversation and just spying on Wu to see where his game is.
Kicking behind the ball, kick and stick. Oh, nicely done. What a beautiful shot he's played there. Perfection.
Another superstar of pool has just arrived next to our commentary table. Jake Aspey from Matchroom Multisport, who does a simply wonderful job. He's a wizard when it comes to social media and getting out all of the content for you. Can't overstate just how hard the Matchroom guys work. Matt Lynch, he does a wonderful job also, helping us with all of our thousands of questions each day. They put in a real shift, those guys.
You after a free dinner, Phil, or something?
And lunch. I've got my ticket, don't worry. There he is, Jake. Only one thing I dislike about Jake, he's an Arsenal fan. Like Michael McMullen. They get very smug. Halfway through the Premier League season last year, they were meeting in corners and laughing at people. They were so far clear. And then when everything turned against them, they were visibly frustrated.
Bye, Jake.
Yeah, that sent him off.
While we're taking the Michael out of Jake Aspey, Oliver's still got this problem on the green 6.
Yeah, thinking about it, I'm not exactly in a position to take the mickey out of anyone when it comes to football, being a West Bromwich Albion supporter, having missed out of promotion last season.
It wasn't a bad effort in the end, was it? And he's been fortunate. So will we get to see another kick and stick?
By the way, talking about the Matchroom team, Phoebe Millam really helps as well with the logistics of these tournaments. And we were at a press conference yesterday in the Galicia Provincial Government Building, in which the big boss, Emily Fraser, gave a very good presentation, which was attended by the president of this region.
Not quite what he had in mind. They're not easy, them kick and stick shots. When they come off, they look amazing, but they're always quite tricky. Ooh, that's a big, big mistake. It was a good opportunity. Wu may have to play the jump shot. He's just coming round to have a look.
So, in the scheme of things, is he a good jumper, Carl?
Yeah, I mean, most of the top players are very good with the short stick. I mean, potting the ball here is very easy, but he'd just like to get the cue ball a bit closer to the brown 7. Doesn't want to leave the cue ball there. That makes the next shot a little trickier, so he'd like to get the cue ball further up. Gotta watch the scratch. I think he scratched. All because he was trying to get the cue ball closer.
Occupational hazard, unlucky. But nevertheless, it was always, I'm not going to say likely, but possible. As Carl said, that was the risk he took by trying to obtain decent position. Nicely tidied. At least to get another rack on the board. The more racks, the more bragging rights. Jia Qing's lead reduced to 5-2. Now, you know, a little earlier we were talking about Niels Feijen taking the first rack from his Vietnamese opponent. Carl Boys was saying, but watch out, the Vietnamese collective are fine players. They are indeed. Win equalised, and he should have gone in front. But he's just missed the 8-ball down the rail. A ball he would have expected to pot, and consequently Feijen's got this to regain the lead at 2-1.
Yeah, big mistake there from the Vietnamese player. You can't afford to do that against most players, but certainly not Niels Feijen. As Niels takes the third rack to lead 2-1.
This is table 3. Fine Spanish player involved. Pizarro. And he's 4-4 at the moment with Anis Cherifi.
Yeah, Diaz Pizarro, he's won many titles in Spain. He's won Euro Tours. He's beaten the likes of Alcaide and Sanchez many times. The fact that we're here in Spain playing the Spanish Open, he'll want to try and get himself in the mix, in the depths of this tournament.
One giant of the game from yesteryear has had a very swift victory on table 5. Mika Immonen beat Danny King 9-1. Well, when he broke off in the first rack, the one went in the side. It looked like a very efficient break, Carl, but since then, not quite so good.
Yeah, this is also a very messy table, isn't it? He could play the bank shot, in fairness, but then that would only offer a 2-pink-4 combination. Didn't play the bank, played the safe.
By the way, another rapid 9-0 winner was Jonas Suto Camino. Another great Spanish hope. He whitewashed Jamie Bryan from the UK. And Tim de Ruyter has come through on table 16, 9-2 over Paul Taylor. Always there or thereabouts from Estonia, Dennis Grabber. He's 6-0 up on Pablo Rey Fernandez. All the way from Wisconsin in the American Midwest, Tyler Steyer. You would think on course for representing the USA in the Mosconi Cup again this year, Cole.
That will be his goal. That's why he's come all the way to Spain, try and pick up them ranking points. Doesn't fancy hitting this one, so he's just trying to make a mess, a bit more of a mess, trying to do something with this 8-ball.
I can tell you JJ Fall a South African based in Manchester. He's beaten Pablo Montana Fernandez 9-7, and that real battle on table 2 we saw a little earlier. Just a reminder that Aloysius Schaap did win that one 9-2 against Diogo Inacio.
I think he was just trying to hold the yellow 1 ball so he could pot it in the bottom left. It's just bounced out a little too high. I'm sure Wu can put Oliver in a world of pain here though with this hook.
Yeah, world of hurt. The first time I heard that phrase, you might remember it, Carl. The Sylvester Stallone film called Over the Top, about an arm wrestler. And his big rival was a guy called Bull Hurley, who said he wanted to put someone in a world of hurt. Of course, as with all good films, the hero prevailed in the end. Stallone's character winning the World Arm Wrestling Championship.
Well, I was going to watch it tonight, Phil. Cheers for spoiling it.
Honestly, it's a really good film. I loved it, actually, all those years ago. Bull Hurley, yeah, what a character he was.
Wasn't a fantastic safety shot. At this level, this jump shot is easy to hit. Now, does he play the jump bank? Probably not. Probably trying to leave distance and use all the balls in the middle for a hook. And he did go for that jump bank. Wasn't far away. Yeah, it's just been all about the 2 ball, this rack. I feel like once somebody can get rid of the 2, it does open the table up. 2-4 doesn't look like it's dead set, but because they're so close, I think he can make that combo. Looks like it can be made.
Treating the match and his opponent with all due respect, which is always a good trait. And he did manufacture that combo. Still, though, an awful lot of work to do.
Yeah, this will be a good shot though. He's got to power this ball into the top left, draw off the right hand side rail, cue ball above the middle with right English, and it'll bring it back to a similar position to where it is now, that type of area. Yeah, here it comes. Good shot. Needs it to hold up a little bit though. If the cue ball runs into the 9 full, he's okay.
again, at the risk of repetition, I'll mention his pace of play. There's nothing rushed about it, but there's also nothing too hesitant. Gives every shot 100%.
Wasn't the easiest of table layouts, this. It's actually a very good run out. He's going to get the job done.
Given what he's capable of, you have to believe that now he's back, Wu will zoom up those World Nineball Tour rankings. He is very much a member of the elite. Now, a fighting performance. Congratulations to the youngster from Denmark, Mickey Kraus. He was 1 down with 2 to play against Arseny Sebastianov of Finland, but Kraus came through 9-8. Moritz Neuhausen, another youngster with lots of potential. He's on the hill against Ramon Fernandez-Ledo at 8-1. Everywhere you look around this arena, so much talent on display. Over on table 3, Pizarro of Spain has gone in front against Anas Cherifi at 5-4, and Sharik Saeed from Singapore 4-2 up on Pablo Garcia Laga.
Yeah, Sharik Saeed will be playing in the World Cup of Pool with Lucius Yap. It's a good break off.
I know all of these many fans will want to know how Fedor Gorsht is getting on. Well, so far so good. He leads 6-2 against Robert Parrish, the tournament winning machine Gorsht. And Wang Can of the People's Republic of China has made very short work of Javier Alvarez Ramos, winning 9-1.
Well, he does have a look at this ball, queuing off the rail, makes it a little tougher. Oh, good pot though.
Now, that wasn't just a miss, that was a bad miss.
Yes, another look. Well, I think he might have miscued Phil, because I don't believe he'd ever missed the pot by that much. Usually when a player misses a ball, they do hit the jaw.
Yeah, did take a look at the tip, didn't he? Straight afterwards. Now can Rodriguez Roa make it 3 racks? Now sitting next to Shane Van Boening is Gareth Esprit's wife, and coming up on table 2 at the conclusion of Fine Win, Van Boening will be playing Gareth Esprit.
just kind of get the feeling Oliver's, he can still make something happen in this match. He just keeps pulling one back, doesn't he? Then losing the next. If he can just win a couple on the spin, you never know.
Oh dear.
Disaster has struck. Them chances simply have to go. Again, things are just not landing perfect. Yeah, he can pop this ball, but depends where he wants to go with the cue ball. If he wants to go twice across, the 9 is in that path. I know what it is, Phil. It's the 4-inch pocket. It's just making players just step back and think that little bit more. You know, when you play on a 4.5 pocket, your typical size pocket in a pool room, you just get down and whack it in and the racks are over, but it's just making them think that little bit harder.
At top level, you simply cannot afford to miss easy balls. Rodriguez Roa did that a short while ago, and now he's being fully punished. (7-2) it is. 2 racks away from victory. Already there, I can tell you, in round 1. Solid player from Poland, Daniel Masejol, has defeated Mark Vidal Claramunt of the USA 9-4. Dennis Grabber came through as we fully expected, 9-1 against Pablo Rey Fernandez. Win Hoang Phong of Vietnam, 6-1 up on Diego Rey Fernandez. Imran Majid, who was in the conversation to be part of the GB team for the forthcoming World Cup of Pool, which is the next attraction right here in Lugo next week. Well, Majid didn't make the side. Jason Shaw will be joined by Elliot Sanderson. Well, Majid and Jaime Serrano Hernandez are 2-2 at the moment. There's the Austrians, the trio from left to right. Albin Auschen already with a win under his belt today. So far, so good. Same thing applies to Max Lechner. And on the right-hand side, Mario He.
Well, I think everyone watching the UK Open knew what a big fan I was of the harder break. The break that catching SVB, Mario He used. Maybe Wu's been watching back home, Phil. I thought that's the break for me.
Watching and maybe listening. Thinking if Carl Boys thinks that's the future, maybe that's the way to go. That's the influence you've got in pool, Carl.
I'm sure he's not that silly, Phil, to listen to me. Can he pop this ball? Oh, he could. There was a little gap there.
Have your paths crossed on the international scene in the past?
No, thankfully. No, I never played him actually. Oh, he's hit that wrong. Just didn't get the cue ball far enough over, did he?
Yeah, hit the three a little fat, didn't he?
Kind of been the story of the match for Wu, really. He's played some good shots. You can see the game is there. Maybe he's been a little bit edgy. Also, Phil, I'll tell you what seems to happen on these opening 4 days. Because we don't have a shot clock, you can tell that players second guess themselves a lot more. Oh, what a shot he's played here. The little genius played a little cheeky one.
Just skimming off the four with all of that side as well. The four hardly moved. He's got some tools in the box, hasn't he?
He's not happy with that tip. I'm just wondering if something's gone wrong with it, because I think a couple of shots, maybe it's not gripping the cue ball, maybe it's kind of sliding off a bit. I'm sure after this match he will get to work on it. A lot of the players, they bring tip tools with them, and they can, you know, they're pretty adept at shaping their own tip.
Now getting behind 5 and 8 there was quite a big target, but the cue ball just slipped by.
Needs a bit of luck. It was a good pot. Took a gamble. And that's okay.
You have to believe Wu Jiaqing is going to be on the hill very swiftly. Indeed, that is the case. Wu leads Rodriguez Roa 8-2. Exactly the same scoreline is currently the case over on table 4, where Fedor Gorsht is on the hill against Robert Parrish. Sharik Saeed, who Carl mentioned will play in the World Cup, alongside Aloysius Shap for Singapore next week. He's now 6-3 up on Pablo Garcia Laga. Imran Mashid has taken the lead against Jaime Serrano Hernandez, 3-2. Ruben Omar de Campo, 3-2 up on Bart Chapler from Poland. This first round progressing nicely. And as yet, we haven't seen a single shock. By the way, on table 2, you can see the action over there. Just a further reminder on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. Well, on table 2, Niels Fine leading Win Kong Tan 4-2.
This is going to be a nasty little positional shot. He's got to kind of kill the cue ball and float it down into this gap. How's the pace? The pace looks good. I think this has just been an all-round measured performance. I think Jia Qing knows his opponent wasn't really going to kind of like interrupt his plans of winning the opening round here, but all in all, I think he's played some good shots. He's played a few ropey shots, but all in all, I think he'll be fairly happy, Phil, and it's good to see Jia Qing back in the Matchroom arena. He's without doubt one of the biggest draws in the world of 9-ball pool. Hence why so many of the pros were sat watching, Phil.
Yeah, that's the telling thing. So many of his fellow superstars either have watched this match in part or in full. And what they've seen is that Wu, on his return, is as dangerous as ever. Not ideal position, but he's one ball away from setting up a second round match against Wojciech Szewczyk, who's defeated Theodore Bitsayakis 9-3. What a tasty match that will be.
Just left himself on that 50-yard line. If anything, he's struggled with his cue ball on certain positional shots. These are not easy, they're really not. You kind of feel they've got to go. If they don't, you've lost the rack. That can be the brutality of 9-ball. That's why we love it.
No issue whatsoever.